Now, let's talk about some of the strategies for retail investors. जब हम small cap and mid cap investing की बात करते हैं ना, even if you look at 2008 का जो meltdown हुआ या फिर 2018 में जो meltdown हुआ, the small cap index fell by some 50%, right? जो retail investors के लिए काफी बड़ा drawdown है. But आपको क्या लगता है कि what is the percentage of drawdowns जिसका tolerance retail investors को होना चाहिए?
राइट. नो, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, बिकॉज क्या होता है कि लोग सिर्फ अभी जब बुल मार्केट होता है तो दे लुक एट द रिटर्न्स ऑफ द स्मॉल कैप व्हिच ऑलवेज लुक्स गुड इन अ बुल मार्केट, राइट? बट वन हैज टू लुक एट कि ओवरऑल एवरेज क्या हुआ है. सो एज यू सेड, इफ यू इन्वेस्ट इन द स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स एट द पीक ऑफ द मार्केट, then small cap index actually have delivered lesser returns than the large cap index. So as you said, 2008 में 8 के peak में if you had invested उस time, तो returns have been just 7-8% per year in the small cap index, whereas Nifty has delivered 10-11% returns, right? But at the same time, if you look at the last 4 years, then small cap index would have delivered returns of 30-35%, per year, whereas Nifty would have delivered 15-18% kind of returns, right? Historically, यानी मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में मैंने ऐसे देखा है कि हर एक पीक के बाद जनरली देयर इज अ क्रैश. सो 2008-9 में क्रैश हुआ, वापस 3 साल में 2011 में और एक क्रैश हुआ. आफ्टर दैट देयर वाज स्मॉल करेक्शन इन 2016 में वो डिमॉन के टाइम पे, एंड देन 2018-9 में बहुत बड़ा क्रैश हुआ. And then again 2000 and COVID तो छोड़ दो, it was a one-off event. So COVID also it fell down. But then after the bounce back from COVID, 2021, which was again 3 years after 2018, 2021 end में वापस the small caps had corrected by 20-25%, and after 21 now again 3 years 24, there is another sort of correction which has happened. The average correction of the small cap index over these 15-16 years has been almost 40%. So 40% is an average correction. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. So small cap index in 2019 had fallen by 75%, right? Small cap index during COVID times had fallen by 45%, right? Small cap index from the peak of 2018 to COVID had fallen by 65%, right? So bull market में ये सब लोग भूल जाते हैं. It is very very difficult to invest in the small cap index because small cap में क्या होता है कि large cap में there are only 100 companies, mid cap में भी there are only 150 companies, but in the small cap there are thousands of companies. So it's all about which companies you pick. So if you invest in all the small cap companies, the returns are not good. It is as good as the Nifty index returns over the long term, and again they are much more volatile. In a good market they deliver outperformance, in a bad market they underperform big time. So small cap investing is all about your stock selection and your understanding on those businesses where कि ये business के risks क्या है, whether it's a cyclical business, whether it's a long term consistent business, उसका वैल्यूएशन क्या होना चाहिए, उसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग अगर हो, एंड इफ यू आर एबल टू पिक द राइट स्टॉक्स जहां पे वो अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ प्ले आउट हो, बिकॉज इफ यू इन्वेस्ट इन से 10 स्मॉल कैप कंपनीज, यू विल जनरली गो रॉन्ग इन 4-5, राइट? सो एंड देन वहां पे अगर बहुत ज्यादा नेगेटिव रिटर्न्स बने, then overall you'll probably make less returns than just investing in a Nifty. So it's very important that when you go in, you should be ready for such falls. And hence, when everyone is excited, generally that's the peak of the bull market. At that time, you should be very, very careful, because from that point, generally such 35-40% fall may happen. So you should be ready for that. One good thing which has happened over the last 4 years is that the balance sheet and cash flow of small cap companies have improved significantly. Historically, if you see the debt to equity, which is a indication of कि आप कितना leverage रखते हो, debt to equity used to be 0.6, 0.7 for a small cap company on an average. Today, that's gone down to almost 0.1 times. hugely, almost, because everyone has sort of paid off debt. And more importantly, कि सबके operating cash flows have gone above their net profit. Generally, previously वो P&L में प्रॉफिट बुक करते थे लेकिन कैश कलेक्शन नहीं होता था. So which has changed, so the balance sheets have improved a lot. And return on equity of small cap used to be 12-13%, which has gone up to almost 16%. So काफी सारे जो पैरामीटर्स हैं वो इम्प्रूव हुए हैं. इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि अभी वो 30-40% वाले करेक्शंस होने का चांस बहुत कम है, मेनली बिकॉज ऑफ द बैलेंस शीट स्ट्रेंथ. And which was really difficult during 2018-19. देखोगे आप तो बैलेंस शीट्स वे रियली स्ट्रेच्ड, दे वर वेरी ओवर लेवरेज. 2008 में भी वही हुआ था, एंड दैट इज नॉट द केस. एंड हेंस आई एक्सपेक्ट कि अभी स्टिल यू शुड बी रेडी फॉर 20-25% काइंड ऑफ अ फॉल.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Please read the risk disclosure documents carefully before investing in equity shares, derivatives, mutual fund, and or other instruments traded on the stock exchanges.